Now she answered your question.
That you do need a father.
I'll tell you how you should understand. All right, that's better to see yourself.
Do you want to all come a little closer?
No, come along. I'll tell you how to recognize. You see, a
Come
right person.
If when you ask a question you kindly just come forward so that Mother can speak to you directly and so she can hear you. Yes, come on now.
I hope you have explained to her about the center heart position.
Just a little. I said this is the center of the universe.
The mother. She is the mother of the universe at that point. Alright? In the center of your, it's alright, let her be comfortable. It's the centered heart, as you call it, we call it centered heart, but this center, this is a very subtle center in us, which manifests a gross plexus, which is called as, the cardiac. There is any doctor here? This subtle center is bestowed upon by the deity of the mother of the universe. Right? She is called as Jagadamba. Now see, her position is such. If you can see clearly, that green big thing, that's the place she resides. And she is alone there. She comes alone because the people are trying to get over this round thing that you see here. We call it as void, or you can say Bhavasagara, means the ocean of illusion. So the seekers are trying to get out of the ocean of illusion because we live in illusion. We have not yet felt that certificate. Alright? So the mother is there is to protect, to guide, to counsel and bring them out of that illusion. Alright? Now, I have not told you the story of the creation. That's why there is a confusion. That the Father, the God, does not do anything but to witness the play of His power. He is just witnessing the play of His power. And His power is the Mother, the Holy Ghost. In the Bible it's a mystery. They have not talked about Holy Ghost so much because that time the Mother of Christ was playing the part of Holy Ghost. So they didn't talk because they thought the attention will go to her and she'll be killed. And then as Christ has got 11 destroying powers, He will destroy the whole world. And that is why they never said about the Mother. Alright? So that is the Mother who is, we call as Mahalakshmi, the power of ascent, as she was. So this Mother who is the one who is the protector, the Mother who looks after you, who kills all the demons and all the devils in you and outside, is the one who is called as Jagadamba in Sanskrit language, means the mother of the universe. Alright? The Father about whom Christ has talked, or about everybody has talked as Allah and all that, this Father is the witness of the play of the Holy Ghost. Alright? And He is reflected within us in the heart as the Spirit. So the Mother has to do it alone. Now as far as this particular gentleman you asked me, you can see that instead of taking us out of the illusion, he puts us in the illusion. He gives you diamonds, and diamond is a very big illusion. He gives diamonds to people who are very rich. I mean, for example, he'll give diamonds to my brother who is a very rich man, and he gets a heart attack. Most of the people whom he has given a diamond get a heart attack. Can you imagine? On the contrary, people think he is going to cure. So many people have got heart attacks from this man. Now, if somebody is a godly person and a divine person, will not give you diamonds, because what is a diamond? You can purchase it in the market, isn't it? What is so special about diamond? He'll give you something that nobody can give. That's your spirit. Alright? So this is what it is. They create an illusion. All kinds of illusions are created. But Sainath, the first one, the real one,
The
who
real
was on this
Sai
earth, real Sainath at Shirdi, he was the one who was a real prophet. He was the primordial master who came on this earth. And he was the last of them so far, who's done a lot of work for me. And it's helping me such a lot. In that area only, our work is doing very well, because he's talked all about Sahaj Yoga, about all these things to people. So people are just prepared in the villages and all that, just to get it. It's much easier to do it when he has already prepared people for that. They are ready, they know what to do, how to discriminate, how to find out who is the right person. In that area, he never goes. He never goes in that area, nor people have any respect for him. Even in Bangalore, people have no respect for him. So to understand a person, first of all, we must know that does that person takes us out of the ocean of illusion. Now, if I say we are in illusion just now, I must prove then, isn't it? If I say something like that, I must prove then what is not illusion. This is illusion because we haven't got our awareness yet of that level by which we will know what is not illusion. For example, supposing we are blind, we can't see things, there is darkness. Then no use talking to a person about the color who cannot see, because whatever you may talk, he won't understand. For him, his dark life is the reality, and enlightened life is an illusion for him. But supposing by any chance you can open the eyes of the person, then he can see that this is not an illusion, that one was an illusion. In the same way, something has to happen to all of us, by which you achieve that state where you become the spirit and you feel this all-pervading power which is around us. First time you feel it when you get your realization. So one should not talk of diamonds, pearls, gold. It has nothing to do with a person who is a divine person. Now it's all right, I am a married woman, my husband has a big position, I have to live with him as a normal human being I am living. So I have to dress up the way his status is in life. It's all right. Makes no difference to me. I can sleep on the road, I can go by a bullock cart, I can go by a Rolls Royce also. Makes no difference because I am so detached about it. So it's nothing important. But what is important is that we should know what is reality. And to know the reality, we have to become something more than what we are. And that is what a guru should tell, always, that you must get your self-realization. But they are much cleverer guru than this one. There are many cleverer ones who tell you, all right, you become something else. So, we have 4 types of awareness within us, we can say. One is at the lower side where we are just animals. Right. At the stage where is this red mark, we are carbon. Just a carbon. Carbon gives you life. Without carbon you cannot get life. So this is carbon is here. Then the orange one that you see there is the one that goes round and round. There's a mistake in coloring. This is the yellow one. This is yellow. And that is green.
This is green.
And that is blue. Blue, and that one
yes,
is...
it is too. He's painted that
wrongly.
Yes.
It's just I noticed. It's all right.
That's green, that should be blue.
Blue, and that should be what you call dhoom. Dhoom is smoky color.
It's a smoky color. That one's great.
It's a little mistake, doesn't it? All right. So the other gurus can do other tricks, is to put you to another kind of awareness, like they can make you into an animal. Like some people I've seen pictures that they make you jump, then you start shouting and screaming like animals, you start barking like dogs and behaving like frogs and all sorts of things. See? Rajneesh does that. He's done that to people. Now that's one way. Some can drive you to the left side. Left side people are those who go into clairvoyance and use spirits. Left side is our collective subconscious, where everything that is dead is lying there. And that's a very dangerous zone, because so far I have noticed that all people who suffer from diseases like cancer, and you name all of them.
Poliomyelitis, osteomyelitis, all these, muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis.
All these come from the problem of the left side. Can you believe? From the left side means if you take to clairvoyance, or if you go to a guru, he practices the left side, means he uses dead spirits and all that, then you get these diseases. Then there are some who put you to the right side. For example, they make you extra intelligent and extra clever, and there's another spirit that sits on you, and very ambitious person, and all sorts of things. They also, after all, after some time you get tired, you become like a cabbage, and you just don't know, you can't face life, you become a recluse, and you are away from the society, you are good for nothing. So there are two types of people. In the left-hand side people make you feel very small, that you are a sinner and you must say, like confess or something like that, showing you down that you are good for nothing. The other ones pamper your ego and take you to the other side. So you have two other areas also. One is the collective subconscious and another is the collective supraconscious. But where we have to go is the superconsciousness. This is the ascent we have to. Not to go sideways or downwards, but we have to ascend. To ascend means what? What have you to achieve as an ascent? Means you yourself develop powers of giving ascent to others, because you become a higher person than the rest of the people. Like one fish first came out of the water, then 2-3 fishes came out, then about 12 might have, and then many shoals of fishes started coming out, because these are the few fishes which pulled them. They went ahead and they pulled them out. In the same way, you have to become a higher personality. And as soon as you become higher personality, I don't have to tell you that you should be virtuous, you must do that. You just become. Just become. What is the difference between a great man and a small man is just this, that a great man has already achieved that state where his virtues and his qualities are part and parcel of his life. See? And the others are still fighting with it. But by becoming the spirit, you become so powerful that you don't have to fight it. You become completely integrated. You fight yourself actually all the time. For example, somebody would say, oh, I love to take drinks, I like to go to pubs, I like that. Of course, bad for my liver, I have a bad liver, but what to do, I like it, how can I give up? That doesn't happen. After realization, you just do what is good for you, what is going to give you complete joy. So this is what one should ask for, not for anything like diamonds and things like that. But this is more serious than that. It's not only diamonds, I don't mind. You can give smuggled diamonds, give diamonds, makes no difference, but it's much more serious. If it were only diamonds, I'm not interested. But it's much more than that. It's very injurious, very injurious. And the serious matter, gradually as you will grow in Sahaja Yoga and sensitive you will become, you can feel it, who is the real and who is the unreal. And then you will be amazed that what sort of people are going about as gurus. They are nowhere near God. They are all anti-God. They are anti-Christ, anti-God people.
Last night you were raising the Kundalini of the people in the room. Yeah. Last night in there. Well,
yeah.
Why didn't I feel a great feeling of bliss?
You did not?
No.
You will?
When everyone says that if the Kundalini comes even to Anahat, then it's an incredible feeling.
You got it?
No, I didn't. I'm wondering why, if that happened.
You see, there can be many reasons. But I need not tell you, should I? Why to make you nervous about it? I'll just get it done. Doctors don't tell you you have this trouble or that trouble, do they? Why should you? If I know how to cure you, I'll just cure you, finished. Why should you worry why you didn't feel or anything? You should feel it, alright? That's between you and me. But not to worry. Why I didn't feel, what happened. Yes, must be something, no doubt. But doesn't matter. It's nothing important, is it? To you?
It's fun, yeah.
No. Later on, you will know. First of all, you get your realization. You see, first of all, you must get your realization. That's more important. Then you will know yourself what was wrong with you, why you didn't get it. Now, if you ask Warren, he will tell you that he was arguing me all the time within himself. You see, but he wouldn't say that to me. You were doing the same. But there are some other things also. Yes, I can.
How would one of your disciples...
Could you speak up for Mother?
Well, how could a disciple or a seeker deal with a person who is possessed, who has difficulties, who has blockages within himself? How could a disciple of yours deal with a person like this? What would be a good way?
Oh, there are so many ways. Yes, of course.
Help them?
Yeah, there are so many ways by which they deal. That is what I have to teach you. That's why I'm here, to counsel you on that, isn't it? That I'll teach you how to do it. But first of all, you must get completely strong enough. And you must know all the ways and methods of protecting yourself. So the main interest of the mother is in her own children to begin with. And then, once they are so well equipped, they can go to other people, no harm. Then they can look after. But there are other ways also indirectly helping them. So I'll teach you all those things one by one. All right?
That's what I'm more interested in.
Yes.
The indirect way.
Yes, indirect ways we'll tell you. That can be done. Indirect ways should be used first of all. Then direct ways, because indirect ways are easier and you are not sort of harmed by them to begin with. Later on, then once you are strong, you are never harmed, but you have to be a strong person, because you get involved into situations, especially if you have to treat your own mother, own father, own brother, then it's even worse. Is that the case?
No, I had been pointed out that I had certain possessions and things, and in fact, when it was pointed out to me, I became very frightened.
Yesterday?
No, it was some time ago. 6 months maybe, I'm not sure.
Who told you that?
A friend of mine.
She's a realized soul?
I think so.
She's my disciple?
I'm not sure.
How can she say that? That's not allowed in Sahaja Yoga to say to anyone like that, unless and until that person becomes aware of it. You don't say that, because why frighten a person for nothing at all? If she has done, if she is a disciple of mine, I'm surprised. You are not to tell people like that. But slowly you can introduce and tell that this is to be done to get well. Alright? Have you been to some guru?
No, I had certain visions and things that just came to me when I was a bit younger.
What sort of visions?
Little people. I saw little people, and what I was led to believe were nature spirits. I didn't want to see them. It just happened. And,
but you've been to some clairvoyant person or someone?
I think he claimed he was clairvoyant, but I knew he wasn't.
There must be something like that.
So I didn't believe him.
No, you see, they are all like that. Clairvoyance is not a very great thing. If it is clairvoyant, it must be. See, if you go to these people, they push you to the left or to the right, and you can see like that. You see, they can go to any extent. Those who go to the left side can see lots of things. Example, I'll give you a gentleman who was one of our trustees. He was bringing another fellow who was mentally disturbed. He went to the station, and this fellow did not arrive, so he was rather upset. So he went to the post office to telephone. The phone was out of order. So another gentleman said, there's a house there, you can go and ask them, they'll allow you to telephone. So went and telephoning, the fellow came out and he said, why do you want to telephone to this man? He told that, I know you want to take him to Mother, But you should not, because mother is doing a very great work. Why do you want to take this fellow to her? Why do you want to trouble her? He was surprised. How did you know all about it? They can read your minds. And he said, no, it's better that you go, take this man to a temple somewhere outside Bombay and go and take one coconut and see the person who is in charge of the temple. So when he went with that coconut there with this gentleman, he started telling all the stories. They were all amazed, both of them. How did they know all about it? So he took that coconut from him, and he said, with this you have to give 100 rupees each. So they gave 100 rupees first. And it started off like that. Till one day I came back to from London, and I saw this gentleman. I said, where have you been? You were just shaking before me like this. So he said, to no one. There was one gentleman in the temple, this thing, that thing. I said, what? How did you do that? Why should you go to that place? You see, they can read minds and things. And ultimately, that fellow never got cured. They lost all their money. And this one died of heart. So it's a very common practice in India. Everywhere. Everywhere I find this is a very common practice to use these spirits. Here also I find lots of people are going to this clairvoyant women and clairvoyant men and all that. It's a very dangerous thing. One should not deal with that area which we do not know. It's a very common thing. And apart from that, you see, like this, we have Pentecostals, and that's all this same thing. We have Pentecostals doing that ho 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 stuff. It's nothing but that. Because after all, if you have to get realized, you become a decent person, isn't it? You become a sensible person, a saner person, a wiser person. You don't become a stupid fellow, or you don't become an absurd and obtuse personality. You don't develop, isn't it? We must also know that all such obtuse people cannot be realized so much. They have funny faces, funny looking eyes, and they are so greedy, and they have no virtues, nothing. How can they be godly people? We should judge them by the way they live, by the style they live. You see, a good man lives in a way that is very decent, decorous, isn't it? The smallest thing that we should understand is that when God resides within us, when there is light, you see, in every walk of such a man there is light. He should have compassion, love. If he's a hot-tempered fellow, furious type, then how can he claim to be godly? We must use our brains. But when they come to me, only that time they start using in the other direction. Because you're free to use it. It's all right. I'm happy in a way that you use it, because you should be free to use it. But not to a great extent also, because you miss the point. Now you're still worried about your realization, isn't it?
No, it's just that, so, you know, all the different gurus and all the different writings and groups say that, you know, when the Kundalini rises, if it rises, that when this happens, there's a, you know, great bhava or whatever you want to call it. That just happens. That happens. If it rises.
You see, because they don't know the job. They don't know the job. How can they claim they can raise the Kundalini? They don't know the job. Not only that, they are anti-God people. How can they raise the Kundalini? Just tell me. A person who has no authority from God, how can he raise the Kundalini? It's a very recent thing. Also this is about 50 years back only. People have started writing all this nonsense. And ancient books nobody reads. That's the trouble is. If you read Markandeya, who wrote in 14,000 years back, I mean, never said such a thing like that. He said mother can do it. Adi Shankaracharya in the 6th century said, I think Kabira was about, must be 16th century.
1500s, yes.
16th century Kabira was, he said it so clearly. Nobody said all these things. But if you read a German, writing about Kundalini, or if you read some other gurus, these pseudo gurus, they will say it because they don't know the job at all. They are not supposed to do it. So they are frightened to talk about it. And those even who say, even Muktananda, for example, said that he can raise the Kundalini. But look at him now. He's died with leaving 60,000 crores. I don't know the Indian. 60,000 crores worth of diamonds is left. And both the disciples are fighting among themselves. There was a fellow who came to see me who has been with him for 16 years. He's here now. Where is he? Now he's somewhere. Melbourne. He's in Melbourne.
Yes,
He poor man. You see, he was buying a ticket from a agency the owner of which is my disciple. And he said, I'm going now to India to meet this another lady, Anandamayima. So he got such a fright. He said, Pa, why are you going to see her? Because this gentleman, Mehrotra's parents, are ruined because of Anandamayima. He said, don't go and see her. Why do you want to go? He said, no, I was with Muktananda for 16 years. And what I am left with is no money, no brains, nothing. I am a cabbage. I am good for nothing. 16 years. So he said, all right, you go to mother and you just go and see her. And he just walked into my house. That day I was having a very big dinner in my house. He just came. And he said, such and such person has sent me, mother, I have been 16 years with him and I have to catch a plane in the evening. I said, no, I have to cook for so many people. What am I to do? All right, I said, I'll talk to him. And I was amazed. The way he was ruined, he was a rich man. He lost all his money, everything. But what people are enamored with, I just don't understand. He said, what does he do is to make everyone jump now. To make you jump, is it difficult? Anybody can jump. You should see his own lifestyle. All those gurus who have talked and you have read are mostly these modern pseudo ones who know that there is market on, so they have taken their birth. What will they gain? Nothing. They will go to hell. That's all I can see. They have made money out of simple seekers who are truthful, who are honest. What's going to happen to them? But supposing I say it is so simple, so why not accept it? What's wrong in it? Alright? Because they have said it is difficult, so must you accept that? But because I say it is simple, you should accept me. On the contrary, isn't it? If I say there's a diamond free for you, absolutely free, easily available, will you stop not taking it? You will. That's what it is. It has to be simple. You just logically you understand. You are intelligent people. Anything that is vital has to be simple. Has to be easy. God is not going to make your life miserable, will He? Why? He's tried to make you so comfortable, so happy. Why will He make you miserable? Logically you reach that point. These people do want you to be miserable and them to be happy. That's a different point. Alright? So first you get your realization and then we'll talk about it. Now don't oppose it with your mind. Just forget it. Whatever you have read is of no use. Just now you should think that I have gained nothing out of that. I mean, if they cannot do it, why are they talking about it? First of all, ask them this question. You better shut up then. If you don't do the job, better keep quiet. Isn't it like a doctor who says, I can't operate, I can't do anything about you, I can't cure, it's very difficult. So why are you a doctor? Nobody will do that in a profession. Only in this horrible profession, people do like that. To make everything look so horrid and so difficult. It is not. As I told you, that people have worked for you, have done the job for you. They have done it for you. Christ has done, Rama has done, Krishna has done. Everybody has worked it out in you. You are just ready to receive the result of their work. Alright? So don't worry about what others are saying. Better have it yourself. Huh? Now who else is there? Any other question? Who? There are many. There are many Sadgurus in India, and what they tell me is this, that Mother is difficult to convince people. They always take to falsehood. They are more fond of falsehood than of reality. They have always tortured the real people, and even now they torture us. With very great difficulty I sent one to America. He ran away within 3 days. He couldn't bear it. He said that their brains have placed the other way round. See, they don't understand God, they understand money, they understand dollar. To them dollar is their God. He ran away within 3 days because he wouldn't stick on to the place, because they have no patience with people. They just don't understand what quality of human beings these are, that they can't understand God and things like that, because they have achieved a very great height of purity. They can't bear impurity of others. You need a mother to have that patience and that love. There are many, and I meet them, they come and see me. There are many like that. If there is somebody who is a real guru, you can make it out from the disciples also. The other day I met someone who had a guru called Shantanand. Who knows about me? I already told them. They all know about me. Even in Rangoon, there was a fellow whom somebody went to see, and he knew about me. It's a surprise. They know. Because this is all predicted. All has been predicted. Very ancient times, say, Bhrigu Muni was there, who lived about 12,000 or 14,000 years back. He has written about this, that this is going to happen, that this is going to work out, the Kundalini is going to be raised. Have you got the book of Yogi Maya?
No, we don't have it, Mother. They couldn't find another copy.
He says he got only one copy. But he sold so many books, they were saying.
Really?
Yogi Mahaja.
Of that publication? No. I didn't ask him, actually. I asked in Maharashtra.
Oh, of that. Of that. Yes, of the original book is, of course, original book is only one copy they have. But Yogi Mahajan has written in his book, at the end of it.
Oh, well, have we got a copy of that here? Yes, we've got that.
Now this Yogi Mahajan is a person who was not a realized soul, but he felt for people, and he tried to organize an ashram and all that, and he was calling people to his ashram. But once he got realization, he changed himself completely. He knew that this was the truth, and he just changed it. And now he's a great Sahaja. He has an ashram in Dharamshala.
There are a number of other books which you can pick up later once we get established in realization. This is one of them.
At the end of it, he said he's put something. Gavin has put, or someone. Out of that book, can you read it out? You read out. But the whole chapter is on the subject.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very small chapter.
Yes, it's okay.
Epilogue. Yes, just see this.
In the period of distress about the 50th century BC, Lord Krishna came to uphold Dharma, and he stated in the Bhagavad Gita, "Whenever there is a decline in righteousness and a rise of unrighteousness, then I send forth myself," and indeed, in the age of darkness 2,000 years ago, Christ came forth to save mankind. He too said, "I will pray to the Father, and he shall give you another Comforter, that he may abide with you forever." What could be a more troubled period than ours, when there is a crying need for the Saviour? Will he not come? But the divine blessing is on mankind, and as promised, she has come to as Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi. It was prophesied. The manifestation of this spiritual reality in the modern world has been foreseen by realized seers and sages since ancient times. In America, Jean Dixon predicted the birth of the coming avatar, or divine incarnation, in about 1924. Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi was born on the 21st of March 1923. In England, William Blake prophesied very clearly in his poetry the coming age when men of God would become prophets, empowered to make others prophets. Sahaja Yogis giving realization to the Guru Tattva in others. Many of the places specifically mentioned by Blake have proved to be closely connected with the development of Sahaja Yoga in England, especially the Vale of Lambeth, where the first ashram was established, and other locations connected with the various residences of Sri Mataji. Among all the ancient writers of astrological prediction, the greatest master is Bhrigu Rishi, who lived more than 2,000 years ago. His two great treatises...
2,000 years ago?
That's what he said. It's incorrect, isn't it? Yes, it should be 12,000.
Yeah.
His two great treatises, the Bhrigu Samhita and the Nadi Granth, written on the leaves of lotus, palm, describe respectively the horoscope of man according to the combinations and permutations of stars at his birth, and the future world events of spiritual significance. At the present time, when so many are seeking the new age and so many self-certified teachers and masters are floating enterprises of all kinds to attract the seekers, it would help if we tallied the descriptions given in ancient prophecies against the modern reality. Thus we should be able to recognize the incarnation described by our Lord Jesus Christ as the Redeemer, the Counselor, the Comforter, who will instruct in all things concerning sin and judgment. Many have predicted that this incarnation will be an expression of the female aspect, the Holy Spirit, or Adi Shakti of Indian tradition. These ancient writings are replete with proofs of the advent of Sri Mataji as the saviour of modern times. Her person, her teachings, and the Nirmala Vidya, which means pure knowledge, which she teaches, are the fulfillment of these prophecies. The clearest of these indications are contained in Bhrigu's Nadi Granth, which was edited with Marathi commentary by another sage, Bhujanda, about 300 years ago. According to the Nadi Granth, it stated that in 1970 a new transformation in human consciousness will commence.
No, it will start.
The Vaivastav period, the period preceding Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga itself will end. Kali Yuga is the age of darkness. That period will end. After the death of a yogi in 1922, and that was probably Sainath, a great Mahayogi will take birth. This Mahayogi will be an incarnation of the Holy Ghost and will embody all the divine powers of God, or the Parabrahma. That is, she will be the one that controls the divine power. That yogi will have the Shakti, or the power of doing or not doing. In previous ages, seekers of truth had to take to devotion, or bhakti, or knowledge, or jnana, Patanjali Yoga, and all such different methods and disciplines in order to achieve the joy of moksha, or liberation. Thus they could achieve the fulfillment of their heartfelt duty of life and to get their heart's meaning. In those days, one had to undergo a very severe type of penance in order to awaken the sleeping spiritual energy of Kundalini and to make it ascend through the different subtle centers.
Your question is answered, right?
But by the grace of the unprecedented method introduced by this Mahayogi, the seekers will be able to achieve the joy of moksha in their own lifetime spontaneously, and they will be able to see the rising of Kundalini. There will be no need to give up the body by living samadhi, which means a method adopted of shutting oneself in a cave and dying there while in meditation. But by the capacity of the yoga, one will even be able to achieve victory over death. There will be neither need to leave the body nor to think of your rebirth. The realized soul through this yoga will not have to worry about food, clothing, or shelter. In other words, you'll be well cared for. Diseases and mental sickness will be completely destroyed, and such people will not need the institutions known as hospitals anymore. They will have a power to develop a subtle body and the other powers that will be given to them. And that's the end of the quotation, and this was written 12,000 years ago. It's incredible.
Nadi Granth. That it will start in 19... Because you see, the whole thing was in Sanskrit language, so it had to be again translated and to be brought up to date. Because if it was written so old as that, in our way of saying that what year it is, so he brought the whole calculation and he said it will start in 1970. And it really started in 1970, this work of mine started in 1970. I mean, there are so many ways by which one can understand, but in the intermediary period of these 50 years, all these people came up, they wrote books and things like that. And writing books takes nothing. See, I have not written any book so far. I mean, this is, I'm hearing for the first time what they have written. But I've seen this Nadi Granth with my own eyes.
But only a couple of years ago they showed it to you.
Yes, they showed me about 2 years back. And I saw this book only when we were in Sholapur.
I think it was last year.
Yes, last year they showed me this book. But I've read this in Marathi language. But this one is done by another, that Yogi Mahajan, who has put few things. But William Blake was another.
I'll just finish because it's interesting about your birth, Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of these predictions is fulfilled in the life and work of Mataji Nemala Devi. She was born at the geographical centre of India in a hill station known as Chindawara, exactly at noon on the 21st of March 1923, the day of the spring equinox when day and night are equal. On the 5th of May 1970, in fact, Sri Mataji introduced the method of Sahaja Yoga, by which realization is achieved effortlessly and without any penances or fasting, let alone living death, on the part of the seeker.
Amas is the point.
The spirit manifests as the witness state, and man conquers his appetites through detachment. Thousands have seen the rising of Kundalini and the pulsing of the different chakras when Sri Mataji awakens the secret powers of the 7 centers. This happening is one which happens to people en masse, and we have seen thousands of people at one time gain their self-realization. C.J. Jung spoke of a collective unconscious common to all mankind when he himself had glimpsed through his own dreams and insights and those of his patients. He also knew and taught that this collective realm is only to be attained by a maturing process of self-realization, casting off illusions and imaginings which hide the collective reality and hinder its realization into collective consciousness, with the dawning of a new awareness. Sahaja Yogis know that this describes how Kundalini herself records her own history and carries the scars of our self-inflicted injuries. All this knowledge becomes an open book after self-realization and aids the recovery of the subject. It is true also that as one establishes one's realization by giving it to others, so also material problems of income, food and shelter all miraculously are solved. This we have seen and experienced, it's a fact. The vibratory knowledge is an absolute knowledge. Sri Mataji herself never consults any books, but radiates innate knowledge on every subject with astonishing insight and understanding. Nirmala Devi's Sahaja Yoga is beyond rational thought. It is like the sprouting of a seed into a great big tree. You cannot explain it. Now we have to proclaim that this is the fulfillment of the ancient prophecies, this is the revelation and the testament of modern times.
I didn't even have time to read this. All right. So that's it. All right. Now, yes.
Excuse me, would you like to comment on books like the Yoga Vasishta?
Yoga Vasishta. You see, Yoga Vasishta and all these books are written at a time, you see, when we had a certain pattern of life, ancient times. You see, Vasishta was at the Rama's time, so it was about 8,000 years back, you could say, about. And the pattern of life we had, even Rama's life was like that children who were about 5 years of age were sent to a guru in a forest and they were kept absolutely in a very pure relationship and a pure understanding of life, in complete purity. So much so that every inner city was called as Gotra. Gotra means that's your forefathers' place order. Now everybody in India today also has a Gotra, and they never marry among the same Gotras. Means, you see, my forefathers who belong to one Gotra, nobody can, I cannot marry a person who belongs to the same Gotra. So the celibacy is maintained to that limit, that we are brothers and sisters. Now thousands of years back also we are still brothers and sisters. It's like that. In those days, you see, all these things were sort of practiced, all these Patanjali Yoga, Yoga Vasishta and all these things that practiced. But that's not so today. Today the time is very limited, the crisis is complete. You have to take to something fast. You see, it's emergency there. So those books were meant for those days. This was all right. But how many people got realization at that time? Very few. Only Nachiketa, one person, who was the disciple of Janaka, father of Sita. That's all. One person got realization in those days. Rama didn't give realization to anyone. He did not. Because that was not the time to give realization. Now today is the time to give realization. Alright? So every book has its own place at that particular period. At the time of Christ, we needed a particular thing. Before that, we needed Moses. Before that, we needed other things. So whatever was needed at that particular time, that is how they dealt. Alright? At this time, what we need is realization. My main attention is on giving you realization, nothing else. That's all. The first thing is that. Then other things will come. Now you will understand Yoga Vasishtha very well. Because those days, people led a very righteous life. They did not need anything to sustain themselves, that righteousness, that purity. They lived like that. Because the whole system was bent upon it. They led a very nice life, celibate life of purity. Not because they were forced or they were conditioned, but because they led in such circumstances, all like brothers and sisters, that they never felt that way. They had very good concentrated married life and everything was arranged very well. But now that society is no more. Alright? So how many of you felt the cool breeze yesterday? Let's see. That's good.
How many did not?
Oh, yeah.
Did not. 1, 2, 3.
Now, first of all, have you got a guru before?
Pardon?
Yes, well, she has.
Yeah. What about you?
Yogananda.
Right.
7 years of
Say.
TN and 2.5 years of Eckankar.
You. You.
Doesn't matter. What
It nearly blew my brains
I
out.
know, it is so. You don't know people suffer from epilepsy, this horrible TM business, you see. You pay for becoming mad. It's that. What about you?
Anandamurti. Anandamurti.
Anantamar.
Anandamurti. Not Anandamaga, was it?
Yeah.
Anandamag.
Yeah, his name was there.
See, that's horrible. We have people, now his own wife has come to me. She's a Sahajogini now, his own wife. Last time she got her realization when we were in Delhi. She tried for 3 years. His own wife, his own people who are in Calcutta. And she went and told him also that you better take to better life now, you've done a lot of things. But you see, he cannot change himself. Cannot change. That Sarkar, who was his right hand, first he came to see me. I was in a hotel. He came to see me with a police escort. My husband was quite surprised. What's this going on here? I don't know why he's come with a police escort. Actually, he was the one first who ran away from Calcutta. He went to Lucknow, took a jeep, and then came to Delhi. And then he came to see me. Now he's all right. But later on he was threatened. He and his wife both were threatened. So he wanted to come to England, but somehow this all subsided. Now the wife of this Anandman came to me. She's got realization. So that's what, it solves the problem, alright? Doesn't matter. Whatever has happened, doesn't matter. You better get your realization. What about you? You felt the cool breeze there? You too?
No, what I felt last night was what I told you.
Huh?
The only thing I felt was a very heavy weight in both my...
Yes.
both
You
arms.
have been doing Hatha Yoga, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been doing Hatha Yoga for 18 months.
That's why. Hatha Yoga also is the same thing. You see, Hatha Yoga is just a part of it, you see. We too do Hatha Yoga, but after realization and according to the Kundalini's movement. You see, where the Kundalini is, not before that. Because it is absurd, you see, to do
Please
anything,
sit down. Sit
any medicine. Come here. Come forward.
It'll-
It's all right. Come forward. Yeah. So this Hatha Yoga also is like taking all the medicines without any discrimination. It's
No,
you must.
I was studying under the Swami Venkatesananda. He died recently.
Who?
Venkatesananda.
Swami Venkatesananda. He died recently
He died in South Africa.
What did he teach
in
you?
South Africa.
What did he teach you? This Hatha Yoga means physical exercises.
Have you not heard of him? He's very famous. Venkatesananda.
He said, have you not heard of him? He's very famous.
or notorious?
No, he's a very spiritual man, you know, he travels all over the world.
No, he is not. Because you are not, you should have got another experience if he was really so. You see, those who talk of physical being too much is not a real person. You see, this is not an acrobatic place. You see. Just to become something in the circus, we have to be human beings, first of all.
He speaks of the enlightenment. Is that enlightenment and realization, is that a different thing?
They can speak. What they achieve is that you felt happy. Otherwise, if you feel this way, the heaviness and all that, then that's not realization at all, isn't it? Alright? They are very notorious one by one, but thank God they are all getting exposed, you see. 10 years back when I told about them, they were all up in arms again. And people warned me they are going to kill me. I said, let them try. None of them filed a suit against me. I told their names and I told everything of them. None of them. Because falsehood has cowardice in it. They are cowards. They know they are doing wrong things.
Swami Shivananda, was he the same? Was he in the wrong?
Who is this?
Swami Shivananda.
What did he do? Shivananda also. What did he do? See now. What has he done? On the contrary, he is the one who was denied by some gurus in the Himalayas because he was no good. So he came down and started teaching all kinds of exercises. But he never did any exercise himself. Made others do all the exercises of the world. And then another is that, what's her name is? Yoga Shakti Ma. She's another person. There's nothing in them. All hollow personalities. You are 1,000 times better than them.
And the Dalai Lama has seen the same medium.
You see, there was a book being written about something, and they wanted to have an introduction of Dalai Lama to that book. But Indians said, don't put his name, otherwise it won't sell in India. We don't like him. You see, he's like a parasite. He was a parasite in Tibet, now he's come as a parasite here. They're all parasites, they're supraconscious people, that's all. What good he has done to anyone? Living freely at the cost of that poor country Tibet, and now in India, you see, there was a parliament question about him. Why should we support this man and his paraphernalia which has run away from there? You should find out what they have done, what they talk about.
So all these gurus are believing that...
Modern times, there are many who are true gurus also. But they are not in the market. They are not in the market now. This Dalai Lama fellow has had a doctor with him who used to do all kinds of things. And
he's dead now.
Thank God he's dead. And he really ruined people, this doctor, you know, he used to give some sort of a, I don't know what he gave to these people who went to him, but they came to me afterwards and they were all sick people. And people don't like him in India. If you take Dalai Lama's name, you said, all right, you are one of them. You see, they think something wrong there. You see, because from outside, how will you know? How will you know? Simple thing.
Did you say Krishnamurti was a true guru or a false guru?
No, Krishnamurti was another one. No, see. You've read Krishnamurti?
He's had a great deal.
That's the problem. Then. See now, Krishnamurti, what he said was that he tried to be very honest about things. And he said that there is no true guru, you have to be your own guru. It's not true. Of course, there are fake gurus, but there are good gurus also. You see, there has to be somebody real to create artificial, isn't it? If you see an artificial flower, there has to be a real flower. Otherwise, how do you get your ideas? This is a very big mistake. And that's how everyone who has read, you see, thinks. And you just see what happens to you. You become mad, thinking like that. You see, some people talk like him nowadays. Just talk like him. There's nothing inside. You see, my point is...
I got a personal audience with him and I asked him why does he do what he does, and his answer was, does the rose ask why? He's a very beautiful thinker, but I don't...
You see, thinking is not going to lead you there. You understand? You can also think. You could be a more beautiful thinker, but makes no difference. Because what you have to do is to logically reach a point. See, thinking is just to logically reach a point. and then ascend. You see, that is for proper thinking, is to understand what to expect. Denying everyone is not proper. You must have discretion. You must have discretion, and there has to be somebody true also. You see, this is complete negative business, that deny everyone.
Question again. I believe that this is a very true way of sustaining the chakras and keeping them in order to make your kundalini grow. Would you say that there are many ways to have a realization?
No.
By yourself?
No,
on your own?
there is no other way. Only kundalini awakening is the only way. You must reach logical conclusion also there. That's because you see, that's how we are made. You see, in an instrument, is there any other way but to connect this to the mains? Nothing. It has to be connected to the mains. Is there any other way that a seed sprouts? It's the same thing. Is all, everyone is made like that. Now if somebody laughs like crying, then you'll say he's absurd. Normally you laugh the way everyone laughs, isn't it? In the same way the kundalini rises, the way it rises. That's the only way. There's no other way. No other way. Everybody who has got realization has got through kundalini awakening.
Yogananda, of course, is gone with Mahana Samadhi. But do you feel whether he were realized or not? He was trying to teach self-realization. Do you feel it is not once the person is dead?
What's it? When you are dead, then you get samadhi.
Well, that he cannot be a guru because he's dead.
Can he still be a guru even after his death? Assuming even though he was not a realized soul, but he did contribute something to teaching, he took Mahasamadhi. After death, can he be a teacher?
No. If he is not a realized soul, he has no business to be there.
His
First of all.
teachings are almost the same words you've just used about...
No, but they can say the same thing, my child. You see, they can say the same thing. Because it's written. It's written everywhere. You see, even if you go to a church, the priest says the same thing. Saying is not the main thing, is whether he is a realized soul or not. Apart from realized soul, there are many realized souls also. Now, for example, in Surge Yoga, if you come, you get your realization, you are a realized soul. But are you a master of that or not? That is very important. Unless and until you have entered into the kingdom of God, you have no authority to talk about it. Say, I'll tell you a very simple example. Now, supposing on the road you find a man standing and saying, go this way and go that way. If he is a policeman, you listen to him. But if he is not a policeman, you say, who are you? You are mad. Why are you telling me? They have no authority to do it. Alright? That's why, whether he is dead or living, if they call, we have got Mahasamadhi, this is not true. They cannot. They can only possess you. That's all. Because the realized soul does not possess. Only these people can possess. You see, the teaching can be in a priest, can say the same thing in a church. Anybody can do it, but they are not realized souls. It's the point how you do it. It becomes a conditioning on you. You see, if a person who is not a realized soul and does not give you realization, it becomes a conditioning for you. It's not reality. You take it because you think it's good rationally. You think it is a good thing rationally, that you should do a good thing, and all that. But it doesn't help much. What helps you the most is that you become capable of it. That you enjoy it. It becomes your second nature. It becomes part and parcel of it.
There's another one. Vivekananda wrote thousands of books in India.
Now what has he given?
But he gave nothing except this information.
All, you see, we know, because those who know Vivekananda very well. Because those who have read the original books know that he has taken from other books and said something. So it's nothing special, you see. You people only know Bible, supposing, and somebody writes a thing on Bible. You won't call him Vivekananda, you won't. But because he writes about Vedas and all that which you have not read, so you call him Vivekananda. That's what it is. You see, anybody can read those books and can write. Anyone can. There's nothing so special.
In Perth we get some 10-day meditation courses. One is the Vipassana by Dr. Goenka.
You cannot have courses in this, my child. It's a living process. You cannot have courses. You cannot have course. It's all this another going. He does courses. What does you get? Nothing. Have you seen anybody getting realization? First thing, if somebody can give you collective consciousness, then you should believe that. You see, it's like people think that we can pay for a course. I'll give you another little story of my grandchildren. I have two granddaughters who are from the first daughter, and they are realized souls and born realized. So one day the little one, she was about 3 years, going to a kindergarten school, brought a paper to me and said, "What is written in this, Grandma?" I said, "It's written that if you pay 100 rupees and come for a course in this hotel, then you can get your transformation." She was puzzled. She said, "How can you get transformation without Kundalini being awakened?" Little one, you see. But the another one, the elder one, said, "But this courses business I cannot understand. My father has done 14 courses of all sudden Kundalini doesn't rise." You see, they are simple and they know the fact. They said, "By courses we can." There's no course. We cannot have a course. We don't have course in Sahaja Yoga actually. We don't have that. It's you should feel it, you should see it, you should work on other people, understand it. You see,